You know, for a long time, men been told to play nice, to smile when they're hurt, to stay quiet when they're disrespected, to be the good guy, the one who always forgives, always gives, always shows up even when nobody shows up for him. But that era is over. See, men are waking up now. They starting to understand that being nice don't mean being weak, but being used does. Too many solid men been giving out loyalty to people who only loved them when it was convenient. Too many kings been lowering their crown just to make someone else comfortable. That's done. Men don't learn that solace ain't weakness, it's strategy. They're not reacting anymore, they're observing. They not chasing anymore, they building. They not begging for peace, they creating it. The truth is, this world don't respect nice. It respects real. The nice ones, they got overlooked, underestimated, even laughed at. But every nice man has a point where he stops apologizing for who he is. That's the shift we in right now. And men stepping back into their frame, into their discipline, into their power. You can't pour into everybody and expect to stay full. You can't keep fixing people who break you in the process. So, men choosing themselves now, choosing growth, choosing purpose, choosing silence over noise, focus over drama, respect over attention. And yeah, it confuses people because the same ones who used to benefit from your kindness gonna call you cold when you start saying no. But that's all right. Growth always offends the ones who profit from your weakness. See, when a man starts waking up, he moves different. He starts realizing his energy got value, his time got value, his peace got value. And he ain't handing it out like it's free no more. You can't buy him with flattery. You can't guilt him with emotions. You can't break him with silence. He's seen too much. He's learned too much. The new kind of man ain't trying to be like, he's trying to be legendary. He's not chasing people. He's chasing purpose. He's not trying to prove himself. He's improving himself. And don't get it twisted. That don't make him heartless. It makes him focused. He still got love in him, but now that love got boundaries. He still got compassion, but now it's selective. He's still generous, but only with the ones who match his effort. This awakening ain't about revenge. It's about alignment. Men realizing they can't lead if they always been. They can't heal if they keep pretending. They can't win if they keep doubting themselves. Now it's about standing firm, moving with intention, speaking with truth, even if it shakes the room, walking away from fake love, fake loyalty, fake smiles. Because once a man sees through the illusion, he can't go back to sleep. He starts seeing what matters, his health, his grind, his circle, his mission. He stops living for validation and starts living for legacy. He starts realizing that peace is the real prize, not popularity. So when you see men moving different now, don't mistake it for ego. It's evolution. They done playing nice because nice got them nowhere but tired. Now they choosing to be real, raw, and resilient. They're building empires out of pain and wisdom out of wounds. The world gonna have to adjust because this new generation of men, they're not chasing approval anymore. They standing tall on principles, discipline, and truth. And when a man learns his worth, he becomes unstoppable. That's the awakening. That's why men are done playing nice. Respect, that's the real currency. Approval phase, applause phase, but respect, that stays solid. See, too many men been out here trying to please everybody, thinking if they move the right way, talk the right way, smile at the right time, they'll be accepted. But the truth is, no matter how much you do for people, they still gonna find something to say. They still gonna question your moves, doubt your vision, criticize your grind. So the lesson is simple. Stop chasing approval, start demanding respect. A man with respect walks different. He don't gotta explain himself. He don't gotta shout to be heard. His presence speaks before his mouth does. Because when you build yourself up from the ground, when you survive what should have broke you, when you stand 10 toes down through every storm, you earn a certain type of aura. You earn respect not by begging for it, but by becoming it. See, approval is about fitting in. Respect is about standing out. And men been trapped in this loop of trying to please people who don't even like themselves. They giving energy to opinions that don't feed them, time to people who don't value them. That's why they empty. That's why they frustrated. But the real ones waking up, they realizing, I don't need your approval to validate my vision. You don't gotta clap for me to keep going. You don't gotta agree with me for me to be right. I'm not in this for popularity, I'm in this for purpose. When you start moving like that, people start treating you different. Because when you no longer need validation, you become powerful. You become unpredictable. They can't control you with opinions no more. They can't guilt trip you with silence no more. You know who you are now. Respect is built through consistency, through how you carry yourself when no one's watching, through how you handle pressure without folding. It's not given, it's earned. And the men that understand that, they don't chase it. They attract it because everything about them screams discipline, focus, and purpose. You start realizing that not everyone's supposed to like you, and that's fine. The ones who don't respect you were never meant to be in your circle anyway. Because when you chase approval, you compromise your integrity. You water down your truth just to be accepted in rooms that ain't even meant for your spirit. But when you choose respect, you stand tall even if you stand alone. You speak truth even when it's uncomfortable. You move with principles even when it costs you relationships. That's manhood. That's power. The men who understand respect don't fold under pressure. They don't let rejection define them. They take the lessons, they level up, and they keep pushing because they know respect starts with self. You can't expect the world to value you if you keep undervaluing yourself. You can't demand loyalty when you keep betraying your own standards. Start showing up for yourself the way you show up for others. Start keeping promises you make to yourself. That's where respect begins. Once you start holding yourself accountable, everything around you starts shifting. People notice, energy changes. You attract better circles, better opportunities, better peace. That's why the nice act don't work no more. Because nice often means tolerating disrespect just to be liked. But the real ones ain't doing that anymore. They're not chasing smiles, they're chasing substance. They're not begging to be seen. They too busy building something worth noticing. And understand this, respect ain't loud, it's quiet. It's in how you move, how you protect your name, how you handle betrayal without losing character. It's how you keep your word even when no one's watching. It's how you walk away from what don't align with your purpose. You reach a point where you realize if me being real makes you uncomfortable, then maybe I was never meant to make you comfortable. That's when you step into your power. That's when the world starts seeing you different because you stopped asking for approval and started living in truth. That's the difference between being liked and being respected. One is temporary, the other is timeless. One fades when you stop pleasing, the other grows when you stay real. So keep your standards high, keep your energy guarded. Don't let anyone's opinion make you question your worth. Because once you stop living for the crowd and start living for the code, you become unshakable. And that's when people start respecting you, not because you ask them to, but because they have no choice. Respect over approval, always. You reach a point in life where you stop begging people to see your value and start realizing it yourself. That's when everything changes. That's when you stop chasing attention and start chasing alignment. Because when you finally understand your worth, you move different. You stop letting people play with your time, your energy, your peace. You stop apologizing for wanting more out of life. You start focusing on what feeds your soul instead of what flatters your ego. See, self-worth ain't about arrogance. It's about awareness. It's about knowing who you are, what you bring, and what you refuse to settle for. For too long, men been conditioned to measure their value by what they can provide, who they can please, how much they can tolerate. But real worth, that's internal. It's not in your possessions, it's in your presence. It's not in your followers, it's in your focus. When you really start valuing yourself, distractions start losing power. You start realizing not everything deserves a reaction. Not everyone deserves access. You move quieter, but your energy gets louder. You start choosing peace over pressure, discipline over drama, because you understand your time is expensive and you can't keep wasting it proving your value to people who can't afford your energy. The man who knows his worth is dangerous because he can't be manipulated. He ain't moved by validation or approval. He don't fold for likes and he don't bend for acceptance. He's not chasing love, he's attracting respect because focus gives you that edge, that clarity that separates you from the lost. When your focus gets sharp, you stop competing, you stop comparing, you stop looking around and start looking within. You understand your lane is yours for a reason. You stop trying to impress people who ain't even watching your growth. You start moving with patience, purpose, and precision. And yeah, it gets lonely sometimes because self-worth comes with boundaries, and boundaries make weak people uncomfortable. They'll say you changed, but what really happened, you grew. You stopped tolerating what kept you small. You stopped shrinking yourself to fit into rooms you outgrew. Focus is freedom. When you lock in on your purpose, the noise starts fading out. All the fake friends, the temporary love, the meaningless distractions, they all lose value because now you're thinking legacy, not attention. You're chasing progress, not people. You're investing in peace, not opinions. And the man who's focused on his vision don't got time to argue. He don't got time to prove himself. His moves speak louder than his mouth ever could. He knows that energy goes where attention flows, so he guards his attention like it's sacred. He knows one slip back into old habits can cost him years of growth. You start realizing discipline is the highest form of self-respect. Waking up early, grinding in silence, staying consistent, choosing solitude over chaos. That's self-worth in motion. That's knowing your mission matters more than their opinions. That's being loyal to your future, not your comfort. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to something greater. Every time you walk away from fake love, you walk closer to real peace. Every time you protect your energy, you strengthen your purpose. The truth is, when a man starts focusing on himself, people start feeling threatened because the moment you realize you don't need them, they lose control. They can't guilt you, they can't manipulate you, they can't distract you. You become grounded, locked in, unstoppable. That's why they say the most powerful man is the one who masters himself, the one who don't let emotion lead him astray, the one who don't let the past chain him down, the one who knows what he's worth and refuses to settle for less, not in love, not in life, not in purpose. You stop trying to convince people to understand you. You realize your vision wasn't meant for everybody. You start putting that energy back into your craft, your health, your mind, your mission, and little by little, your life starts reflecting that focus. See, self-worth and focus go hand in hand. When you know your value, you stop wasting energy. When you stay focused, you multiply your value, and that's when you start winning. Not because you're trying harder, but because you stop chasing what don't align with who you are. So let the world think you changed. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand your silence, because the real ones know when you find yourself, when you focus on your path, when you protect your worth, that's when you become untouchable. You don't need to be seen. You just need to stay solid. You don't need to be liked. You just need to be locked in, because a man who knows his worth and stays focused, that man can't lose. Energy, that's the real currency in this life. More valuable than money, more powerful than words. Once your energy's off, everything else falls apart. That's why you gotta protect it like it's sacred, because not everybody deserves access to your space, your mind, or your spirit. Some people come around just to drain you, to pull from you, to feed off your light, because they ain't built their own. And if you don't guard your energy, they'll take it until there's nothing left of you but exhaustion and doubt. See, when you start leveling up, your energy becomes a magnet. You attract all kinds, real ones who see your light, and leeches who just want to stand in it. You gotta learn to tell the difference. Not everyone who claps for you is happy for you. Not everyone who smiles in your face means you well. That's why protecting your energy ain't selfish. It's survival. It's wisdom. You reach a point where peace becomes priority. You stop explaining yourself to people who only hear what they want to hear. You stop entertaining arguments that steal your focus. You stop giving love to those who only take. You start realizing your energy is your empire, and you can't build greatness with broken boundaries. It takes maturity to walk away from things that don't feed your soul, to stop forcing connections that drain you, to choose solitude over fake company. It's not cold, it's clarity. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't keep showing up for people who disappear when it's your turn to need them. Protecting your energy is saying, I'm not giving my peace away just to keep you comfortable. Every time you choose silence over chaos, you're protecting your energy. Every time you say no without guilt, you're protecting your energy. Every time you walk away from drama, you're protecting your energy. That's real strength, because most people don't know how to detach from what's familiar, even when it's toxic. They mistake chaos for love, confusion for passion. But once you learn peace, you can't unlearn it. Once you taste alignment, you can't go back to imbalance. Energy protection means you start noticing patterns, not just words. You see who brings calm and who brings confusion. You see who genuinely supports your growth and who's secretly praying you fall. You stop giving everyone equal access, because not everyone earns that right. You start creating space only for the ones who match your effort, who bring peace when they come around, who don't need to be explained to. The more you protect your energy, the more you start glowing different. People start noticing. You walk lighter, you talk smoother, you move wiser. That's because you're no longer carrying weight that ain't yours. You stop chasing validation, you stop proving your loyalty, you stop explaining your vision. You realize real ones feel your energy, they don't need convincing. And when people say you change, it's really because your energy no longer feeds their comfort zone. You're not entertaining small talk, small minds, or small circles. You're on a high frequency now. You understand that what you allow is what continues, and you're done allowing things that drain you. Protecting your energy don't mean you isolate. It means you move intentional. You protect your space, your time, your emotions, your goals. You stop mixing with energies that clash with your purpose. You realize not everyone can go where you're headed, and that's okay. You can love people from a distance and still stay focused on your growth. Real peace don't come from perfect surroundings. It comes from boundaries. You learn to sit still with yourself, recharge, reflect, rebuild. You understand that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Just step back, breathe, and let peace realign you. You don't owe your energy to people who never respected your presence. You don't owe explanations for protecting your peace. You don't owe access to anyone who only comes around when it benefits them. That's not selfish, that's self-respect. When you master your energy, you master your life, because everything starts with how you feel. You can't think clear when your spirit's cluttered. You can't grow when your energy's being drained. Protecting your energy ain't about keeping people out. It's about keeping your spirit clean. So stop apologizing for pulling back. Stop feeling guilty for outgrowing situations that no longer serve you. Your energy is your responsibility. Guard it like it's gold, because once you learn how to protect it, you'll start seeing everything around you change, your mindset, your circle, your peace, your purpose. And that's when you realize the real flex ain't fame, it ain't money, it ain't followers. The real flex is being unbothered. Being at peace in a world that profits off chaos. That's what happens when you protect your energy. There comes a time when you stop trying to fit in and start realizing you were meant to stand out. You stop chasing trends, stop copying what everybody else doing, and start building something real, something that represents who you are. That's the new standard. It's not about being better than the next man. It's about being better than the man you were yesterday. It's about raising the bar for yourself and making sure everything attached to your name carries weight. See, for too long, men been told to follow the script, to move how the world expects, to chase what everybody else values: money, validation, attention. But this new way is different. It's about purpose. It's about self-control, self-respect, and self-belief. The new standard is discipline. The new standard is peace. The new standard is being solid when the world is fake. Every real man eventually realizes leadership ain't about control, it's about example. It's about how you move when nobody watching, how you handle temptation, how you stay consistent when things get dark. Anybody can talk about it, but only a few live it. That's what separates men who follow from men who lead. Becoming the new standard means you stop doing things for recognition and start doing them for results. You stop arguing with people who don't understand your vision. You stop begging for support and start becoming your own motivation. Because the new standard ain't loud, it's grounded. It don't need applause, it builds legacy. You start realizing it's not about flexing what you got, it's about who you becoming. It's about moving with integrity when nobody gives you credit. It's about standing tall even when you misunderstood. The new standard ain't built overnight, it's built through pain, patience, and purpose. You learn to embrace the struggle because it's part of your blueprint. You stop complaining about pressure because you realize diamonds only form that way. You start seeing every setback as a setup. You stop reacting emotionally and start moving strategically. You start carrying yourself like the man you said you would be before the world sees it, before the money shows up, before the validation comes. The new standard is accountability. It's saying, if I want better, I gotta be better. It's cutting off habits that keep you stagnant. It's letting go of circles that don't challenge you to grow. It's not about perfection, it's about progression. You can't inspire nobody trying to be somebody else. The real ones inspire by being authentic, by standing on what they believe, by living their truth, even when it costs them comfort. Because when you live by principles, you automatically separate yourself from the crowd. You become a mirror that reflects what others are scared to face: effort, patience, and consistency. And don't get it twisted. Being the new standard ain't easy. You're gonna lose people. You're gonna be misunderstood. You're gonna have nights where you doubt yourself. but that's part of the process. Every great man had to walk through fire before he became unshakable. Every leader had to stand alone before others could follow. When you start becoming the new standard, people around you start shifting. Some respect it, some resent it, but that's none of your business. You're not here to be liked, you're here to leave a mark. You're not chasing acceptance, you're chasing alignment. The new standard means moving with balance, knowing when to grind and when to rest, when to speak and when to stay silent. It means protecting your name, your peace, and your legacy like it's sacred, because it is. This is the era where men build instead of boast, where they lead with values, not ego, where they chase meaning, not clout, where they understand that real power comes from consistency, humility, and purpose. Every man got a choice: stay average or raise the standard. You either keep repeating the same cycles or you break them. You either keep blaming others or you take control of your destiny. Becoming the new standard means refusing to move like the rest. It means turning your pain into wisdom, your losses into lessons, and your vision into reality. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real enough to admit where you need to grow and disciplined enough to do something about it. Because at the end of the day, legacy don't come from what you say. It comes from what you build. The new standard is about creating something that outlives you. It's about being remembered, not for how loud you were, but for how solid you stayed. So stop waiting for approval. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop moving like time is unlimited. Start walking like your steps matter. Start talking like your words mean something. Start living like your story ain't finished yet, because it ain't. You are the example now. You are the shift. You are the blueprint for what comes next. That's the new standard. And it starts with you.